Wallybois. And what I'm going to do is laminate some wood up, because I've got these pieces of timber over here, which one face is good. Ain't that one, as you can see. No, that looks pretty damn bad, doesn't it? But the other face isn't too bad at all, see? That's pretty good. Now, same with this one here. And, alright. So splits there, you see that makes the wood redder to the, timber. The oak, in this case, is a bit unstable. So what you do is you have to glue it together. So what we're going to do in this live, we're going to do a bit of laminating, like we are. Now, I've already run it through the planer, which is this machine just here. So I've basically thickened it so it's smooth on one face. And I've just got to make sure that the surfaces marry up nicely together. I think I might have to just have a bit of clear here. It's embarrassing, look at the mess I'm in. Oh, blimey, no, we're not using that. We're not using that at all. Okay, I haven't got a wireless mic on, I've got a Zoom, what do you call it, a boom mic on there at the moment. So, I will bring you in closer to see what's going on. I'll bring you a little bit closer there for a start. Let's put some of the stuff out of the way. Make a bit of space. I've been doing all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff. That's the problem when you do multiple jobs at a time. You have multiple bits. Yeah, it's annoying. So here we get your cascabite, alright, because what glue we're going to be using is cascabite, pad resin wood glue is made with jelly beans. Alright? Yeah. Or not. So, I've got two pieces of wood. Here. That one. And where's my other one gone? Oh, there it is. So we'll be mixing some cascamite, powdered resin wood glue in the slide and clamping up. But one thing you've got to be a little bit careful of is that because I've screwed this up with the planer, electric planer, because it's round and the cutters are round, it tends to create little scoops out of the wood, little scoops, and because they're little scoops out of the wood, you can feel the ripple under your fingers, and there's a little bit of snipe in the end as well. Now, I won't be using the end anyway, but just want to make sure the surfaces marry together nicely. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a bench hook, or that one there, stick it in the vise, and now I've got to stop. Now, if you haven't got a bench dog or anything like that, you can literally use you can screw down a multi-tool blade. You know, there's a saw blade for a multi-tool onto your saw bench. They make very good bench dogs. Yeah, bench dog. Teeth digging, you see. We've been there, done that. Right, so I'm going to try this up. I want to make sure the grain's going in the right direction. So, if at the moment, I'm looking at this grain here, and it's doing this, going in that direction, right? So that grain is leaving like that, which means it's poking up in that direction, like a hook. So if I plane in this direction, I'm going to catch, aren't I? I've got to make a bit of a rough finish. I know we're laminating it, isn't that important because we're laminating it. And if anything, maybe it'll help the adhesion because you've got a key. But I don't want to do that. No. I want to turn it around like so. And I want to get rid of it. I've turned it around, so now I'm stroking it, I'm stroking me wood. Yeah. Well, you can do a smooth and plain, but everyone's sharp. Because I can test it, yeah. Literally. Yeah, that's literally. I'll bring you a bit closer. I've got a little tripod over there. Not sure what I mean. Da, 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 da. Right, here we are. Oh, put you on there. Now, when I say the top, I'm actually just taking a tiny amount of wood off of you. Just it's almost like a scraper. Hardly anything. That's basically what I want to do. I want to do that because I just want to take the peaks off. I don't want to take big shavings. I just want to take the peaks off. So let's double check. That feels right. Another thing is, you see, when you're running through a thicknesser, or I'm not playing about a thicknesser where you've got rollers, some of the little chips of wood that don't get sucked up by your extractor can then get pressed. And the lignin and what have you in the wood, it gets pressed and literally sticks to your bit of timber. So when you try and laminate it together, you could end up having all these little bits of wood. They're like little spaces. Oh, there's one here, look. See? Just there. See that there is literally a little piece of, bit of shaving. If I pick it off, it's gone. You don't want that in between either, do you? Because effectively it becomes a space and it's not going to like clamp together tight. No! Alright, so let's say that's the glue that we're using. It's Cascamite, alright? Now, it's made by a company called Eureka Glues now. And they've been supplying me with glue for a while now. I don't pay for it, they just send it to me. So technically speaking, I suppose it's a sponsored video. I don't, they don't give me any money or anything like that. But they just send me the glue, which I'm very, very happy to have. In fact, I'm really happy because they contacted me about it because I've got videos online about mixing Cascamite wood glues, and I put some derogatory ones on there because the Cascamite was ruined by polyvine. So, maybe that's a little bit too coarse, so let's retract the blade. Should maybe use a smoothing blade, really. I've done a sharp there. That's it. Right, just take the tops of the... a little bit more of that. Literally push the blade up into the... Now I'm not going... I'm bringing it sideways. I'm crabbing it a little bit, and the reason for that is I've effectively shortened the plane by doing that. So I'm not trying... what I'm not trying to do, I'm not trying to straighten the piece of timber, because I've got two opposing faces here, and when they get clamped together, they'll correct themselves. They'll work against each other. So I don't even notice when you cut a bit of timber sometimes, they spring, you know. And the other thing to watch out for, because all these pieces of wood over here that I have on the bench, all those pieces, they came from square stock, right, for which I had to resaw to rip it down into size. Now, the thing you've got to watch out for, they're really seeds, they're really, really dry. But even when you've got dry timber, there's tension in the wood, right? And sometimes when you can cut it, it'll spring one way or the other. And not necessarily, though, straight away. You might find a few days later they sort of settle in and all the stresses get relieved out of the timber. And then you've got a bent bit of wood. And you don't want a bent bit of wood, no. So that's things you got to watch out for. So before you get carried away, if you're going to rip down a piece, it's a bit of lumber, down to a certain size, like this little tiny thin shaving, really, really thin, to a certain size, let it sit for a little while. Don't just, oh no, I'm going to rip it down now, or cut a rebate, going to do this, going to do that. It could, especially longer pieces, they could end up going out true. You know, bending on you, or twisting. It's not fun. Twister's the worst because it's very difficult to get rid of. The best way to get rid of it is to start again. Or cut it into short bits. So all I'm trying to do is to get rid of those peaks. I'm not trying to plane the wood as such. I'm effectively using my, well, I'm supposed to use like a spray bit really. Look how thin these are. Yeah? It's little whispers. That's all I'm doing, because I'm just getting rid of those. I got the blackboard, and I've got some chalk. And through the round window, alright, you cut a block of round, in it, alright? And it has your cutters on, alright? You can have 3, you might have 2, you might have 4. Now, the thing is though, because it's round, there's a radius. So if, for instance, your transport speed's a little bit high on your thicknesser, or you've pushed it over the top of your planer a little bit too quick, you'll end up with that. It is exaggerated. Okay, that is exaggerated. You end up with that anyway. So all I'm trying to do is to get rid of those peaks. Because all of those are going to be as a void. Okay? Where your glue will end up being too thick. So that's all I'm doing, just getting rid of those first. That's if you're using an electric plane. If you thickness everything down using a hand plane, brave person, you wouldn't need to do that. As long as you're good at it. All I'm doing, I'm not trying to trim it, I'm literally just getting rid of those little peaks. So when I clamp this together with the glue in between, it ends up flat and married up nicely. I don't end up with like the gaps everywhere. Alright, and do it with smoothing plane. This is a number 7 baby I'm using at the minute. It's got a really nice plane line in it. Probably do have been a little bit sharper. Alright, I'll draw my hands over it. A little bit, I need more there. On. Really smooth. Oh, a little bit there. I can see them. I can actually see them by eye there. So let's get rid of those. I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to create big shavings. I'm literally just skimming it. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Right, so that's going to be a glue surface. That's a glue face. Do this one. Check your direction of your grain. I can see here that this is going in that direction. That direction. Okay, so if we're playing in that direction, my blade will get caught by the grain. Alright, so I'm going to do it in the opposite direction. I'm going to be playing in this direction. Hello, Michael. Hey, nice one. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, I'm kind of back now. I'm going to be uploading more and more stuff to this channel because I had a bit of a period I wasn't actually uploading much because I lost my dog last year. It really knocked me for 6, it did. You know, he was my little buddy. He was my little workshop dog, he was. And a little Wally, hence Wallybois. Great little animal. I miss him like I do. Alright, so all I'm doing, I'll just take those peaks off. Now always check the end of your timber where you've actually started and stopped if you put it through a thicknesser. If your rollers are set a little bit soft, like for instance springs need tensioning a little bit to push down the wood a little bit onto the thicknesser, you'll get a bit of snipe on the end. And I don't even see it there. Set line, that's the start of a very, very slight snipe on the end of a piece of wood. Now, if your rollers are really a bit soft, that'll be a lot deeper. And what's actually happening is back to the blackboard. I love blackboards, by the way. Right, so you've got your cutter block. In this case, it's mounted above the table, like so. Obviously, the table's a lot longer than that on this thicknesser. It's a multi-coat thickness I've been using. And then you've got, so that's the cutter block. And then you've got your drive rollers. Okay, you might have rubber ones, you might have serrated ones. I've got serrated ones, alright? Now what happens is, as you're pushing a piece of wood through the planer, okay, the end has been held down by that roller on its spring, alright, and it's pushing down on the end. But as your piece of wood comes near the end, if you allow that to drop on the end, or that roller is a bit slack, okay, it's not pushing down to the table would actually effectively be longer than that. I just run out of space. Alright. What happens is you'll get that snipe on the ends. Now, so you do need to provide a bit of support as you bring it through. See, that wasn't a particularly long piece of wood to get sniped. That was my own fault. I just pushed it through to let it do its thing. Now, you can improve it. If you've got a plane like mine, you can set the tension on these springs, okay? There's a bolt in there, all right? I can tension it up and down. The actual cut block itself is in a semi-fixed position. You can shim it, you can change the angle a bit to make sure that you're playing parallel. But that's pretty much why you get that snipe, which is effectively when you get your piece of wood like so, and you get like a piece out there like that, and that is where the actual piece of timber comes off that roller. Effectively does that, it pushes too far up against the actual cutter block, and then you can create this snipe. Simples, that they say. Well, I do anyway. Nice planes. I do like my planes. I had them a long time, and I hope the audio's okay, because I haven't got my radio mic on. Because I'm just using the phone at the moment. I'm not using the other cameras. So just for this live, I can do it in short format. And the reason for that is because I've done random live, and they just put it into the short feed on. Yeah, see how nice and smooth it glides along there. Well, what you ought to do is make sure you can have some form of lubricant, not KY jelly or anything like that. No, you need some lubricant, all right? And all you need is a bit of candle wax. That works as well as anything. And you have a bit of candle wax, and you put it somewhere where you lose it. Where have I put my candle wax? Oh, blimey. Oh, it's over there. Let me go get it. I usually have it in all different places. A little bit. I buy normally. This is our candle, but I buy paraffin wax. It's stuff that conserves you use for doing putting the wax layer on top of your jams and stuff like that. It's really cheap. It's about about €1 here in France, for a big block, and then you can just cut down with the bandsaw, whatever size you want, and put one, your various places that you want to have some wax. And I just literally just no. Great to start with, alright? But there's a but here. You don't want to be overzealous with the wax, okay? You've also got to remember, you're going to leave a little bit of that wax onto your glue surface. So you need to think about that. So you either got to remove a bit of alcohol, or that will just, once it's gone, you then carry on playing, and last few strokes there might be a little bit more resistance, which there isn't much resistance here anyway. And then, remove the wax for your last few strokes. But, if you've got a lot to do, if you've got a lot to come off, it just makes life so much easier. You're not going to keep applying more and more wax, are you? Because every time you run the plane over, you can remove what wax you've actually put on. So, as long as you make sure, you could use a scraper just for that last little bit if you want. I can feel all those. You probably hear that? That is literally because it's ripply. Don't want ripply wood. No. I've seen the doctor. He gave me some tablets. A bit of cortisone in this, which is quite nice. I've sent a little bit deeper this time because it's actually a little bit more to come off. You try and make sure you're keeping contact all the time with your timber. You don't want to roll over the edges and create a bit of a curve, because effectively what you're going to do is you're going to spoil your actual glue faces. Now, if the edges that you're gluing is really important to you, and you're finding that you're getting a little bit of gappings on the edges once you clamped it all up, what you can do is you can actually remove a couple of strokes, so literally down the middle. So usually with a smoothing plane, there's a reason for that. With your smoothing plane, when you sharpen your smoothing plane, if you're doing it right, you'll put a slight concave on it. Very slight, hardly anything. You're basically removing the corners. So because you've done that, you can remove a little bit of material down the middle. And then when you clamp it together, it'll be tighter on the edges. We're talking about a whisper, hardly anything, okay? You'll be tighter on the edges than it is in the middle. So the middle won't influence the edge of your glue up. See, that's a bit, whoa, way too deep. I do most things by feel, to be fair. Then once you've gone back a little bit, you have to go forward a little bit. Otherwise, the actual little stirrup isn't pushing against the back of iron. So if you go down the middle then, you see, you should be able to create a little bit of relief down the middle of your board. Tiny, tiny, tiny little amount. Just take the slivers off, that's all. Glue joint to be a little bit thicker in the middle of the board, but that don't matter, does it? You're not going to see that, unless you're going to look it down again. So put the quartz on in this. It's nice when you get a bit of quartz. I love quartz when you get that lacing with the quartz on. That's just where it is in the log, how it's been cut in the log. So, hello, Gina Lefty, I hope you're well. We had some funny people in the stream the other day, didn't we? Oh, I don't think you were there. I was live again last night on the other channel. Right, so what I'm trying to do is get rid of all those whispers. Whispers, get rid of all those little ripples in the wood. So when I glue it up, it goes together nice and tight. And as you can see here, this is basically the reason why. If I look on the back of that tip, okay? Yeah, that's a nice face piece, isn't it? If I look on the back, there, got a split there, there's knots in it and stuff like that. Isn't so pretty? So, same on this bit, as you can see, the glue edge that we're doing has got that shake in it. Alright, whereas on this face, it's a much nicer piece of wood. So instead of wasting it, and say, oh, I can't use that because it's got a black split in it, I've got to stabilise it by laminating it. Don't like waste. And it's expensive, isn't it? So I'll mix some glue up in a minute. There's two ways to mix it. One is glue powder first, then water, which is not the recommended way, but the way I do it. Or you can put water in, then the powder. I think that's enough. That's good. That's good. So just put that back in its rack. You got to have a rack for your tools. Okay. If you look at it, you can see those little brown things on there. Yeah, that's not poo. It's little bits of felt, sticky back felt. Alright? And the reason for that is it creates a little gap between the sole of the plane and the rack, and that way you don't get capillary moisture get trapped and rust the bottom of your planes. It works, you know. Oh, look who's come to see me. Oh, Sebastian. Are you hoping? He's already had about 4 treats. Keep coming back for more treats, he does. That's fine, you know. What are you ready, boy? Do you want another treat? He's alright. He doesn't put any weight on it. He's quite good like that. Right. So let's just blow these shavings out of the way. Get a little bit of cascamite. Oh, I made him jump. Did I make you jump, boys? Did I make you jump? Got this one here. Good. Well, like I said, if you just scrape, you could, you know, I planed it off. But if you are worried that you've left a bit of wax behind, use a little, you know, little cabinet scraper. Then you can literally just move it like that, and you end up with little slivers as well. So I'm not worried about that because I've already removed them. Right, that's good. Now, when they've been glued and clamped, right, back to back, clamped up tight, they'll stabilise themselves. See, they're already fairly tight together there already, I see. You know. So I'm quite happy at that. And I'm just literally going to spread the glue. And I've got a special spreader, me. Yeah, special spreader. Get tongue tied now. Oh, you wouldn't have heard that. He just barked, right? Didn't you, Bear? Sebastian Bear. He just barked and farted as he barked. Just a... Don't go near his farts because they stink. Yeah, I know, Sebastian. I'm kind of little. What do you want to go for a walk? We'll go for a walk a bit later, mate. Oh, you're such a pest. It's such a pest. I'm not going to give you half of one. There you go. It's there! It does, oh, dear. You have to find it. Right, let's go and get some glue. I got my glue is over here. Let's go and get the glue. Who found it yet, Bear? He's found it. He found it. See, it's not getting past him, is there? Right, God, crikey, I need such a... You know, I cleared up last week. There's crap everywhere again. Because if you're not wondering what I'm actually doing this for, not that bit, but I wanted to show you because I just let's rip the timber down. I've got a door frame here, an oak door frame that I put together. It's all mortise and tenon. I've got to put all the pegs in as yet, but I've done a mixture of it. It's mortise and tenon and dominoed. So the outer part here, which is the rebate, so the rebate's underneath there, right? I've used a domino dowling machine to do near the rebate, and then a mortise and tenon for the rest of it. So it's a big and strong joint. And cast white glues again. So it's a pretty chunky old frame, you know, chunky old thing it is. It's none of that old Bolton and Paul rubbish, no. Way stuff and all, in oak. So we've got our glue. We've got our Cascamite powdered resin wood glue. If you ever get this stuff, make sure it's by Eureka Glues, because if it's by Polyvine, it's old and useless. Seriously bad. In fact, I've got a bag of stuff around here somewhere. The last bag I bought when it was Polyvine, and I can't use it. It's literally just going to... Really, it's just like a filler material now. I can just chuck it in with something else. And here it is. It's got about 15 kilos of the bloody stuff here. Yeah? Which is by Polyvine. Tiny logo down there. And it doesn't go off properly, and it doesn't stick properly, and it's just useless. It's like cottage cheese. It's crap. So I just use it as a bulk, you know, put into fillers and stuff. It's no good for anything else. Where's this one? That one, like I say, it was supposed to be by Eureka Glues. And very kindly they sent it to me, but I make videos and stuff, so you know, they're quizzing really. There's so many videos online of me using this stuff. So I'm quite happy. I hope they are too. Right, so I use a lot of yogurt pots. Yogurt pots! I use my special spreader. There it is. Which is a wallpaper seam roller. Like that one there, you can use that as well, you know. I either put a piece of rubber around it from an inner tube, or just use electrical tape. I'll put it around it, like that one's got electrical tape around it, okay? And the reason for that is once it builds up, you can just peel it off and start again. Right, use that method as well with PVAs if you like. Don't have to be just a Cascamite. Why didn't I put that back in? Box back into its hole. You've got to put your box back into your hole. Right, little wooden spreader. Now don't do what I'm about to do. What you should do, I'm talking. This is what it looks like. It looks like cocaine. I can tell you a little story about this stuff. Yeah, my dear missus, I'm back to England. I was already using this stuff. My dad was a woodworker. He's gone now, but he's a boot builder. And he tried to get my dear wife. He had a little bag, a little Ziploc bag, with this in it. This powder. Don't forget to wear a mask, right? Because you're formaldehyde, basically. Which is a carcinogen. I do normally, you know. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, hand over this little bag. See, I can't take that on an aeroplane. You know? Oh dear. Well, we'll be alright on it in big letters. It's Cascamite. Well, they wouldn't know what bloody Cascamite is, would they? Crikey. He's a silly man. Now I need my squirty bottle. Everything's moved. Oh, I found it. Put it on a blue shelf. So, what I do with this, we're mixing this, I put the powder in first. They say that's not the way to do it, alright, but that's how I do it. I've been doing it that way for a long time. Put a small amount of water in, not all the water you need, and then I mix it into a bit of a paste, okay? A thick paste. Like, oh, I don't know, like Christy Gnome's filler that she's got in her face. You know, that sort of thing. I don't understand plastic surgery. No, I'm a natural, not me, you see, can't you tell? Anyway, there you go, squirt a little bit more on that. You got a bit au naturel. Right. So as you mix it, it stiffens up and starts going into a bit of a crumbly paste, and that'll start absorbing more of the water. And you get to a point where you go think, oh, I think I might need a bit more water in it. Possibly will do, but be careful. And the reason why you need to be careful is because you can easily put too much in at this stage, because the more you mix it, the more liquid it becomes. It doesn't make any sense, but it does. The more you play with it, the more slippery it becomes. There we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. Ah, you missed it, did you? But I'm going to be doing more lives and stuff, you know. I need to, really. There's some more videos for this channel. And I've got my other channel as well. I need the Tinker's Lab channel that I need to do a lot more on. I've got a few ideas. I've got things planned to do with that channel now. See, and it's like that, alright? If I keep mixing it, just keep mixing and mixing and mixing. Instead of adding more liquid, it will become more liquid. I will need to add a bit more water into this, would be fair, because it is really stiff. But it is becoming more and more liquid, see? I'm going to put a little... I'm starting getting a bit of a glaze. That's what you want. That's what you want. It starts going a bit shiny, which is how it should be. Once you know it's absorbing the water properly, it'll get a bit shiny. Now with PVA glues and what have you, like for instance if you're going to tight bond, if you're going to do end grain glue ups, which I don't recommend, you want to prime your wood first, but not with this stuff. You want to put, if you are going to do it, you don't want that to dry up at all. You want to put it on, not too wet, but wetter, let it soak in and add another layer of slightly thicker. And then you can, you know, do your end grain glue up. Really bad idea, but some people seem to think it's okay. I don't. I think it's stupid, quite frankly, because there's no side grain glue. You know, with this stuff, or even tight bond, you know, it's like you glue it up, and you try to rip it apart, and it takes all the fibres with it. You know, strong, really, really strong. Okay, I hope I've mixed enough. It's quite an area. Right. A little bit more. I'm going to apply it on both surfaces, so I don't want it too thick. I want it to start soaking in. And I don't want it to go off too quick. There's a chemical reaction between the water and the actual formaldehyde. I suppose it works similar to like the bandage. You know, the bandage you stick in the water and wrap around your legs. You know, that's in the hospitals and stuff. You know, if you've got a broken limb. See, that's what you want, like that. Right? If you got that, sort of, yeah, nice viscosity there, you are on a winner. Alright, that's it. Normally I mix it a lot quicker than that, but there you go, I'm yapping on it. So I apply it to one first. If I do need to mix some more, I'll just have to. Right, so I'm going to just spread it with the old bit of wood first. Like so. You know, I don't think I've mixed enough. You silly man. What have I done? Now, the reason why I like to use an actual spreader in the sense of my little roller is because I get an even covering of glue. When you see people get their glue bowl and they go, and they go like that, and slap it together and the glue squeezes it everywhere. Now the glue is going to take the root of least resistance, and all that happens, you'll have loads of voids. Lots and lots of voids. Really daft thing to do, really. You need to spread the glue out evenly across your timber. The best that you can do. Right. Make sure it's actually engaged with all your surface. Which it is. Might need to mix some more, might not, I'll say. It's quite thick on this piece. I could have done with making it a little bit thinner, but I think That's also fine. You don't want any dry bits. That's what you don't want. Oh, crap, I just picked up a shave. I don't want that in there, do I? That'll create a void. There you go. Thin shave, but still create a void. So if I put these two together in a second and squeeze them together, I'll take some of the glue off this face and put it onto the other face and I'll spread it. Right, so we'll place those two together. I'll check the grain direction. That one there. Oh, that's good. That's what we want. What I'm looking at is making sure that the rings are going one way and that way on the other way. Just a little bit more stability, you know. It's not that critical. Oh my god, it's grabbing already. Right, so we'll do this, pull it apart now. Okay. Put some glue onto this face now. So I'll just roll it that a little bit. I don't know if I do need to mix any glue actually. I've actually put too much on this face, to be honest. And I'm going to squeeze the hell out of it. You'll see in a minute. Alright, put that back on there, right? Let's make sure it's the right way round. Yeah, I think so. That'll do. Right, so let's go and grab some clamps. Right, now think about your clamp. Having clamps, oh, how many clamps do I need? You can say, I know. Well, what you want to do, we don't have to do this, but you know, visually you'll know anyway. But if your piece of timber, in this case, is 100mm, okay, about 4 inches, okay, everything clamps in triangles. Right, the load from your clamp will be a triangle. So let's say, for instance, you put the clamp there, and then you put your clamp, your clamp on there. That is the clamping width. That is how much pressure. Oh no, I'm all the way round. Sorry, all the way round. So if I put that there like so, and then put that there like so, that is my clamping distance. I was going to say that looked a bit much. And like so. Alright, so that's effectively my clamping distance. So that gives you an idea how far apart your clamps need to be. Alright, because you're going to see in a minute, it's going to look like a metal porcupine. So I'm finished. So let's stick that on there like that. Let's start grabbing some clamps. I'm going to get all the smaller ones first, and then use the bigger ones if I have to. 4 inch here. Where all my other clamps gone? What have I done with them? Right, anyway. So I'm going to put big clamps on the ends as well. So I'll put these are record clamps. I'm going about 1/3 in, right? Because I'm going to put it on both sides. So I'm not just going to put it all on one side. Because what you've got to remember is when you get tension in your clamp, okay, you might not see it, but there will be a certain amount of bend. These don't bend, to be fair. These are record ones and they're hard. But some of the new ones will have, especially F clamps, will bend a little bit. So your tension isn't parallel to the width of your piece of timber. So yeah, just bear that in mind. So I know one there, I'm going to need another one there. Squeeze it up like so. And I'm going to do the same on the other face as well. You see how many clamps I'm putting on there? You think I'm mad, don't you? You think I'm mad? You don't need that many clamps. You're going to say, oh, I know. You do. You do. I'll explain why. There. So don't keep sliding about. That's the other thing, is obviously you've got to think that glue is slippery, and as you clamp up, it will try and slide. When it straightens the clamp up into position. There you go. That's right, that's good. Now I did, as you probably did, relieve the middle a little bit. We're using the smoothing plane. So effectively the edges should clamp up tighter than the middle, just fractionally. We're talking about an axe whisker. So what I ought to do, I'll get those. I've got an idea. What I want to do, make it a bit easier. Just grab some of these 6 inch. we can get it level. Put one on this face here, in between those two. And I'll also put another one on the end here as well, probably. Going a bit further with that one because it's a heavier, stronger clamp. So that's going to go there. And I'm going to remove that one. Put that one there, and that way I can actually glue on my fingers. I can then level, use them as like little legs. Make it a little bit easier. You've also got a few clamps on there, it's dead easy, I'm not clamping right near the edge, I'm spread the load. Remember what I was saying about the triangle? Think about your triangle, alright? If you clamp in the middle, it's not going to be good enough. It ain't going to be good enough, Especially if you're doing anything from outside. The Cascamite is not waterproof, because nothing's really waterproof. But the Cascamite is as waterproof as you're going to get, really. So, we'll put it on there. And now it's sort of holding itself together now, isn't it? So I'll put it on there. Now, if you are laminating thin bits of wood together, you're going to need more clamps. Because the thickness of your laminates are thin, aren't they? So you need a lot more clamps. But the clamps don't need to be so strong. So little F clamps, those cheap F clamps will do the job. But you need a lot of them. You can also spread the load by putting a little piece of timber to spread the load a little bit. There, move it about a bit. Glue's squeezing out a little bit now. So let's get some more clamps. So what crikey? These are the clamps I have in my workshop, in this workshop anyway. But I have got about 300 or 400 clamps. In boxes and bags, shopping bags, with no handles because they broke off. It's too heavy. A lot of them are like these F clamps loading here as well. Here. Yeah, that's what I mean by little F clamp, these little things. Alright. This timber's too strong for that. It'll just influence. Now what I'm going to do is I'll make sure I'm pulling it out. I'm a bit proud on this face there. So I'm going to go this way for a bit. Then relax that end a little bit and then bring that in. There we go. Ooh, not quite. Yeah, glue! That's better. Let's get that one on there. So I am creating tension in the wood, right? There's no argument there. It's, creating tension because I'm putting two opposite faces together. I'm not worrying about whether or not those faces are perfectly true, but what happens is when you bring them together, if you've got two bends like that, you bring it together, the tension will be almost equal both sides. And what you'll find that the bend that you had before, you'll probably be able to get out with a hand plane afterwards because you've put the tension into the timber. Just like when you get a piece of wood and you rip it down the middle and then it splits, goes off in each direction, and then you have the same kind of issue, but you can get over it. Oh, there we go. This isn't going to be a long live, so I was going to make a video and I thought to myself, well, let's make it do it as a live because then I ain't got to edit it, make it shorter. On there. Need to get my other clamps really. I'll bring a few more in here. And doing this sort of thing. Like I say, you've got to remember the distance it will clamp up to. Otherwise, you can have a soft spot where it's not, not pulled the timber together properly. I see the blues ooze now, pretty much, all the way along. So that's kind of doing its thing. So when they say, oh, You can never have too many clamps. You can see why, can't you? If you're doing a big old glue up, you're going to need a lot of clamps. You know, it can be quite an investment. A lot of these are collected over the years, you know, that's why they're not the same, they're all different. We'll take it off now, it's not moving now. Put that in there. Third in. I've got one on the other side to balance that out. So this will be okay outside, you see. Once that's stabilised, you know, the glue's gone off. And then I ain't got to say, oh, I can't use that bit. Because it was an ugly bit, because the outside faces are good. Like I say, you stabilise it as well by doing this. And I found I had to do this quite a bit during lockdown because it's hard to get timber. Because here in France, so it's so awkward, the actual sawmill. One I normally use, they changed all the procedure. Before, I used to go down the back of the yard and I'd go in there, select what I want, and they'd go measure it up and what have you, you know, do the usual, how much per foot. In metric here in France, though. And it was easy, but now they've kept to the same procedure that they had during COVID. They changed everything and they just kept it as it was during COVID, and I don't like it, so I don't. Anyway, during COVID, you couldn't even go there, they shut down. They weren't accepting anybody during lockdown. Anyway, but afterwards, things got relaxed a little bit when things sort of changed. But I was running out of wood, you know, so I had to kind of make the wood go further. Right, so let's just see, move that away. I have got squeeze out, just there. See that? And there, and there, and there, and there, and there, all the way along. So I know I've got contact, pretty much, right across. And the amount of clamps I put on there, it's not surprising, is it? Hold it on this side. Yep, that's good. So I'm looking for gaps as well, you know. So I might not have enough tension. I don't know if that's a gap. No, that's good. Look more good. I'll squeeze them up a bit more. Don't overdo it with your clamps because you don't want to squeeze all the glue out, do you? You've got 4 pieces. So you need to squeeze enough to make sure everything's got a marriage. Check the ends especially if you've got a bit of snipe in your board. I planed that out. I did have a little bit in there, but I got rid of it. So that's good. That looks good there. That side's good. What? No, that is pretty darn good. Nice one. Okay, that's a bit of laminating done with some Cascamite powdered resin wood glue by Eureka Glues. I don't know what country you're in, obviously. What you'll be able to get Cascamite type glues. Urea formaldehyde glues. That I'm fairly certain in most countries. But that one comes from the UK, and I'm in France, so I took glue it there. Well, they glued it there, which was very good. Over there, back of the rack. I'll just knock the drill bits off. The other one's gone. Oh no. Where are they all gone? Probably on the floor somewhere to find them. All my little tiny drill bits have fell out of my drill holder. That's not very helpful. Right, anyway, don't worry about it. I'll sort that out later. They'll turn up. So, we now have our laminated pieces of wood. Okay. Now, they came from the solid, like for instance over here, where I ripped down these pieces, okay, on the table saw. As you can see, a bit of burning there because I've had to go from both directions. So what I've done is I had ripped halfway on one side and halfway on the other side and met in the middle. The same on that one. So what I've got to do, I'll run that over the planer, and then finish that off with the hand plane if necessary, and then obviously with the thicknesser as well. You see here I've got a shake in there. These are going to be used for cross rails. They're going to be glued up and used as a cross rail. So either that'll be in a glue joint where I've got a shape, or get cut out as a rebate. So see, wood is wood. You have to kind of like go with the flow with whatever you've got. Otherwise, you're going to find it very difficult and very expensive to find everything that you need in absolute perfect condition, because, like I say, wood is wood, especially if it's air dried, which this is. It's old. It's very old. So anyway, when I do my other videos, I'll be making them. Some of my little short videos will be made in here. So I've got my little short videos in here, and then on my other channel, which we're going to be, when I just started actually doing what we're doing in here, and this is what I call my lab. So yeah, I've got my. Let's just give you a little idea what's going on. I've got my little area here. The channel's called Tinker's Lab, right? So basically, you're going to be fixing stuff, pulling stuff apart, and stuff like this. Like this light here, it needs new LED in there, and as you see, it doesn't work. So what I've done is I've got a new one, so we're going to be replacing that. And there's other stuff you can do as well, all sorts of bits and pieces, whether it be fixing stuff or breaking stuff, and also model airplanes as well. So yeah, that'll be done in here. And clearly, obviously, that's a flux capacitor. You've got to have a flux capacitor, but you know that, don't you? Yeah, okay. So anyway, stop the greed. Why are clamps always blue? Well, actually, they're not. Some are red. But record. You see, the most common clamps are record, and they are blue. At Stanley, well, they're yellow. Stanley's not what it used to be fair. But there's other makes as well. I can't flip it now. What's that called again? Gives a W. Oh my Gideon. Another old make against W. Damn it. Anyway, so you've got Record, you've got Stanley, there's loads obviously American makes as well. Well, Stanley, I think it was an American make until they started building them in the UK. I think it was 1915. They started building, making the Stanley planes here. They ruined them a little bit from the 70s onwards, really. They started trying to save money and that, and now they're nothing like they used to be. Nothing. A modern Stanley airplane is not very good at all. You better find an old one. So clamping is definitely better. Yes, you've got to have your clamps, and clamping it creates stability. You see, when you laminate anything together, you think of something like, I don't know, the glue lam beams, where you have these quite often used, or these big expanses. Let's say, for instance, a roof on the swimming pool. You have quite a school swimming pool, for instance. You have a really big beams there. Usually they're what you call glue lam beams, so they're all laminated together in a similar sort of fashion, big machines and stuff like that. And then there'll be finger jointed on the ends, and it creates a very, very strong structure. Very strong structure, provided you're using the right glues. And quite often we're using glues very similar to what I've just been using, in the form of your formaldehyde glues. So it does create quite an amazing strength in the structure by doing that. And the other thing is, if you can create beams, box beams in timber, very strong. Just made it of plywood and pieces of wood. Just all glued together, hollow box beams. You'd be surprised how much load they can take. Even the chipboard, it's quite phenomenal actually. Over quite long expanses, stronger than actually just the timber itself. And besides getting timber that size, because I'm talking about great big, thick, deep beams. You see, so yeah. Do I have a poo box? What? I have kids going back to the what, Mr. Fusion? Yeah, I used to fly a lot of model airplanes and drones. I fly a lot of drones now. In fact, I think there's one hanging up there. If you know, there's one of the drones. But I've got one that I started building a while back. I want to finish it. There's a kit that was given to me. It's an old kit, and it's an old glider kit. It's a 2 metre glider kit, Electrofly, I think it is. I've got all the stuff for it, and I've built the wings and stuff. I've got to finish them all off. So I thought, hang on, I can do it in here, can't I? You know, do it live or something. But anyway, I just thought I'd just share that with you, and it's time for me to go. But you know, oh, we've also got lasers in that here as well. They've got lasers, got a CNC machine just there, hiding behind the rubbish. And yeah, so we'll be doing that in here. That's Tinker's lab. Oh, excuse-moi. So yeah. Oh, anyway, you know what it's like. Got to play, ain't you? And yes, I stole the sign. Beef! Oh, and my dear wife is here now.
Oh, you're talking to someone.
I'm on live, I am, my darling.
Oh, okay. I was only asking if Sunday at 10's okay with Dizzy.
Yeah, fine.
He said because he's going to do the sand floor that day and that's the hardest bit he thinks.
Oh, put the false in. I'll be the digger driver. Alright, anyway, thanks a lot for watching and sticking with us, and I hope you have well, a lovely rest of the day. Toodaloo!